Hi, I'm Conrad L. Jones, the founder of PurposeUnleashed.com and the author of ReEngage, 6 Steps for Getting Your Life on Track and Headed in the Direction of Your Happiness, Your Dreams, and Your Destiny. ReEngage is really a combination of 2 words. It begins with the prefix re, which is derived from the Latin vocabulary, and it is used to mean again or to do again. The second word, engage, means to occupy your attention and your efforts. It also means to attract and to hold fast, to bind as by a pledge or a promise, and to enter into conflict with something. I found that many people just like me have tried to move towards more happiness and better clarity and meaningful achievement in life somewhere in the past, but many times they haven't been quite as successful as they would like. Well, re-engage is then a challenge. It's a new challenge to dust off your dreams again, to reopen the doors of your destiny and fulfillment, to reconnect with your passion, with vibrancy, with excitement, and to begin moving forward again in your life, because I believe that this time you definitely will succeed. ReEngage is the challenge to occupy your attention and to engage your efforts to connect with who you were born to be, to become attracted and to hold fast to the purpose and the plan of God for your life, to make a promise to yourself that you will not settle for less than the best, which is what you rightfully deserve in life, and to move with courage to fight against mediocrity, conformity, and anything that hinders you from your God-ordained destiny. So, what is the real story behind ReEngage? Well, there are a few personal stories in my life which have had an impact on me, and 2 of the most powerful ones involve me surviving a plane crash, and the other is about me surviving a near-death drowning experience. So I'll give you the short version of the near-death experience with the swimming incident. Back in the early 90s, I worked for a small water sports company, and one of the touristic activities that we did was something that's called parasailing. We would attach a client to a parachute which was connected to a speedboat, and as the boat accelerated, it would pull the person about 100 feet or so into the air, and they would have a pretty enjoyable ride. Now, the most difficult days to do parasailing was when there was no wind on the water to provide lift for anything. So everything moved extremely fast, and it was just a little bit more dangerous, especially in those times. One day we had such a day, and that's when it happened. We parasailed off a wooden floating ramp out in the ocean. Some people parasailed off the beach, but we did it off a wooden platform out in the ocean. And that day we had I'll call her a pleasantly plump client who, even after we tried to talk her out of it, she insisted on taking this parachute ride. Well, everything started well. However, on return back to the floating platform, this lady starts to sink like a stone. So the driver maxes the engine to create lift so that she would land safely back on the platform. And he swings across the platform to pass me the rope, which is connected, or which is to be connected to a pulley, and the pulley guides the person back safely back onto the platform. The speed of the rope caught me around the neck and it sent me sailing overboard. Now, this is all part of the job, so I wasn't worried. I treaded water for a little, and that's when it happened. I was suddenly caught up in a super strong current in a part of the ocean that was moving very rapidly, and in a matter of minutes, after struggling to stay alive, my strength was gone, and I slowly started to sink beneath the waves of the ocean. Now, at that moment, darkness starts to cloud my mind, but something interesting happened. You know, people who've had near-death experiences, they always talk about seeing a light, some type of light, and feeling a sense of calm and peace. Well, I didn't have any of those soft feelings. I felt fear and panic like I'd never had in my life. But the thing is, in the middle of all of that, my mind suddenly became clear. And what happened was my consciousness was hammered with 3 questions. And those 3 questions have helped to shape my perspective and my attitude towards life. The first thought I remember having was, could I have done more with my life? Could I have helped more people? Could I have used my life to serve others in more meaningful ways? The second thought was, could I have been more? Could I have been a better person? Could I have been a stronger, better role model to others, to my younger siblings? Could I have been someone more significant, someone with a greater positive influence and impact in this life? And my third and final thought was, could I have experienced more? Could I have experienced more of what life's journey had to offer? Could I have experienced more of what true fulfillment and success really was? And so I simply determined that I don't want to be caught without an honest answer to those questions ever again. And that's really the birthplace for my story and my process of being able to communicate my ideas and the lessons that I've learned during the course of my life in ReEngage to help other people so that I can answer those 3 questions for me personally. Who is the book truly written for? Really, it's written for anyone that want to improve the quality of their life. They can benefit from the lessons in ReEngage. But I specifically wrote it for individuals that I call the restless at heart, because I've been exactly where they are in their lives. You see, restless at heart people are individuals who are simply tired of a mediocre, mundane experience, and they are somehow silently uncomfortable deep down in their hearts because they know that life should be about more than they're currently experiencing. But moving from where they currently are to where their heart is telling them is their destiny is where the silent, frustrating struggle occurs. What I found interesting about these individuals is that despite that silent struggle to connect with more in life, that they refuse to quit and to give up on their dreams because somehow there is kind of like this raging fire that's in their spirit that's driving them to do whatever is necessary to break through and to live the life that God has designed for them to enjoy. And so despite what others say, they will not stop moving forward because they quietly believe that they will succeed somehow. So that's who I wrote ReEngage for. I wrote ReEngage for the person that is restless at heart. So what are the key principles behind the book? Well, there are 6 key principles that we discuss in ReEngage. The first principle number 1, is that you must get your head in the game by structuring a solid foundation for your success and also by creating a top-class launch pad for your dreams. To get your head in the game requires you to connect with 4 precepts, which I call them essentials. And so the 4 essentials are, first there's essential 1, which is that you've got to connect with the attitude and the heart of a winner. Essential 2 is that you must discover the greatness within your uniqueness. The third essential is that you have to walk in alignment with your authentic self. And the fourth essential is you got to learn to fearlessly share yourself with the world. There's principle number 2. Principle number 2 is that you have to identify and smash through your most common roadblocks. There are 5 common roadblocks that we've identified and we discussed, which are in many cases in the form of questions that we all ask ourselves in our heads, because many of our roadblocks, they are really questions that disempower us and limit our progress, and most of them occur within our own minds. And so there are 5 questions and we call them roadblocks. The first roadblock or question is, do my background and my past really determine my future and my destiny? The second is, do my messes and my mistakes disqualify me from receiving and giving the best in life? The third roadblock is what my life offers really good enough for others? The fourth is having happiness and fulfillment only achieved at a specific place in my life? And then the fifth roadblock is, do I have to commit my life to something forever to succeed? And so those are the 5 common questions that bombard us in our minds, that form the most common roadblocks that limit our success, that handicap our potential, and that keep us trapped. The third principle number 3, is that you've got to move to create your own big picture life. It really comes down to it. It's about understanding how to take your hopes and your dreams and your desires, and how do you seamlessly fit them together into a clear roadmap that you can follow during the course of your life. Now, plans change, we grow, we advance, and things move around a bit, but there should be some kind of roadmap that we have in our lives that helps us to move along a path towards what we're looking to achieve. And so there are 5 essentials connected to this process. The first essential is that you gotta connect with your destiny photo. The second is that you have to examine your heart to determine an aligned path. The third is you gotta engage your guiding compass. The fourth is you have to identify what drives you and constantly use it to fuel your motivation. The fifth is you have to shift in the direction of your desired experiences. Principle number 4 is that you must keep moving towards better clarity and focus by tapping into simple but effective strategies every day in your life. And there are 4 essentials to pay attention to with reference to doing this. Here's what they are. Essential number 1 is you've always got to start by clearing away the clutter. The second essential is you got to learn to engage what we call the gatekeeper's philosophy. The third essential is you have to use gatekeeping best practices in our experience in our world today. And the fourth is you got to manage the distractions. You have to manage the distractions that come at you from every angle. You have to be able to learn to manage them properly in your life. The fifth principle is you must position yourself most favorably to win by designing and following a personalized winning strategy. Now, there are 3 essentials to pay attention in connection with achieving this in your life. Here's what they are. The first essential is about life positioning. And in the book, we use a story that's called the Sumo Wrestler's Secret to explain vividly how do you position your life for success. The second essential is you have to shift into your specific place. And what that means is that it's about skillfully employing your strengths, your passion, and your resources to seize available opportunities, or rather, to create opportunities of your own. And then the third essential is it all surrounds harnessing the secret of power positioning by using the techniques that smart achievers use. In many cases, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are things that's being used all around us, and it's just a matter of knowing how to harness those secrets and put them at play in your life to see results that you want. Principle number 6, the last principle, is that you must explore your untapped treasure trove, and you've got to begin unlocking the wealth of riches within you. There are 5 essentials to pay attention to in connection with what we call gold mining your life. Here's what they are. The first essential, we call it X marks the spot, and it is about figuring out where to tap or where to dig in my life to tap into some of those things that are available to me to move forward. The second essential is about tapping into what we call the hidden clues of problems, places, and people to help you to gain an understanding of what you have available that can be used. The third essential is about connecting with what we call your needs assessment profile. And it deals with understanding what problems that you want to solve for others in the world and around you. The fourth essential is about connecting with what we call your asset assessment profile. And this deals with understanding what resources you have at your disposal, or knowing what resources you can acquire so that you can use effectively in your life. And then the fifth essential is about connecting with your passion assessment profile. And it speaks about you learning and understanding what is driving you to focus your life around being a specific type of solution in the world. And so those are the 6 principles that make up ReEngage. And I'm sure if you picked up a copy of it, that it will definitely be a blessing to your life.